everyone, I am Vaishnavi here. Today I am talking about antibiotic. Antibiotic is also known as antibacterial. Antibiotic are the medication that destroy the growth of bacteria. Then mechanism of action of antibiotics. These antibiotics are characterized by a beta-lactam ring in the molecule center. Beta-lactam ring interact with protein in bacterial cell responsible for the inhibition of cell wall synthesis. Antibiotics are obtained from microorganisms and have prominent anti-tumor activity. Then particularly all of them intercollated between DNA strand and interferes with its functions. Then categories of antibiotic. Antibiotics are categorized by their spectrum of activity. They are narrow and broad spectrum, extended spectrum. Then narrow spectrum agents is example is penicillin G. Affect primarily gram positive bacteria. Then broad spectrum antibiotic such as tetracycline affects both gram positive and gram negative. Then extended spectrum antibiotic is one that has a result of chemical modification. Then next is classification of antibiotics. First is penicillin. Have a beta lactam ring that is responsible for their antibacterial activity. In that the natural penicillin, acid resistance, penicillin resistance, and extended spectrum. Natural penicillin is example is penicillin G. Acid resistance is example is penicillin V. Penicillin resistance is example it's methicillin. And then extended spectrum in that amphopenicillin, um, carboxypenicillin, and uridopenicillin. And aminopenicillin is example is ampicillin, carb, car, carboxypenicillin is example of carbacillin. Then uridopenicillin is example is piperacillin. Then next is cephalosporin. It is the identical to that of penicillins. Then classification of cephalosporin. Then first generation is exhibit good activity against in that parental and oral. Parental is example of the against the gram positive bacteria in that parental and oral. Then second generation in that exhibit increases activity against gram negative bacteria. In that the two types parental and oral. Then next is third generation in that the high activity against gram negative bacteria and all highly resistant to lactomase from gram negative bacteria. In that two types oral and parental. And then last is fourth generation. Fourth generation is the high active uh, agonist gram negative bacteria. In that parental is example of cefepime. That's all about antibiotics. Thank you.